evening. Welcome back to Savannah by Night here on Knights of Silvermoon. Now I'll go over the quick overview of We Tell Dark Stories sometimes here. They can be a little rough. We do have safety tools. All the players know how to use them, know how to communicate with me and each other. If for whatever reason they need to pause a scene, edit, or skip ahead, whatever they need to do, we will talk about it and make sure everyone's having a good time and feeling safe while doing it. So that's the usual spiel. Before I get into the game proper, is there any announcements we need to go over beyond our D&D game on Tuesday and our ancient Greek themed shenanigans? We have, I believe, a Kids on Bikes game upcoming as well.
Happy holidays and happy Friendsgiving, happy turkey.
I also would like to introduce the actual character art now for Ellie. Ellie's just been a void up until this point. But this artwork was done by the absolutely wonderful Yokani, who I am putting her Instagram handle in the chat right now, so please do check her out. She does really amazing art like this, and she also has a webcomic up as well, called Those Who Sleep, which is also, interestingly enough, about fanged creatures of the night.
Hey, very groovy. I have to look into that. I feel like that speaks to my interest on some level. I can't explain why.
I don't know
Some
why.
of the art may not be suitable for all audiences. I will also just say some of the art
very
may
suitable
be
for me. You're saying
So very.
18
It's
and
actually
up.
specifically suitable for Graham.
The more
It's for
said,
the more.
What did B-Town say once? It was rated G for Graham.
Exactly.
Well, if there is nothing else we need to announce, I think with that we can launch into tonight's Savannah by Night. Last time on Savannah by Night. Following the tension of necessary meetings, the troop wandered back down to River Street for a bit of bar hopping. Some for the sake of feeding, others merely for the ritual practice of drinking in the ever-daunting pursuit of feeling human. Or, at least, keeping up that appearance. Kate made several bold moves in an attempt to add to her recurring dinner menu. First, on a bartender she appears to have taken interest in, but so far seems unreciprocated. Second, on a more mature woman that may have been at least amused at the attempt, though still a more neutral response. Third time's the charm at the more downscale bar, where she appeared to hit it off with a home renovator. The pair didn't stay at the bar for very long after that. Cora had noticed Lewis, a fellow Malkavian, was jittery and unsettled. When she tried to get him to open up about it, all she could discern was his eyes kept sweeping over the group's table and immediately averting his gaze. Lewis soon walked out, leaving it entirely unclear if he was perturbed by the venue, the table, or someone in particular. However, she wasn't given much time to ruminate on this as her attention was swiftly stolen by Sheriff Vega. Pulling Cora into a dance, it was heavily implied that the sheriff knows where each and every one of them are and can get to them anytime she likes. The experience seemed to leave Cora's feathers all manner of ruffled. Artem managed to bond with his assigned sibling, Christiana, as they discussed both the state of Alden's house and to not discuss it with anyone else. First and foremost, because of simple pride of not wanting others to hear of, or worse, to see the Seneschal's home in disrepair. Second, most kindred, especially elder kindred, are not keen to share the exact address of their havens. However, Chris did mention that Alden used to have guests, at least once upon a time. Ellie, meanwhile, looked into the reports about the Sabbat attack on Louisville, Kentucky, where they learned that the entire Camarilla court is either dead or unaccounted for. The prince, however, is among the confirmed dead. Mortal authorities seem to believe, or have been made to believe, that the situation is the result of a gang war between local criminals and the Dixie Mafia. With at least that much of Tabby's story confirmed, Ellie understandably has some follow-up questions. As such, it seems only fitting that we pick back up at the Warrens with Tabby. Now, you were given a room not far or dissimilar from Ellie's. Part of what is charmingly called student housing. There's even a sign someone put up that says SCAD undergrads, with the under heavily highlighted, all in Comic Sans. There's very little to the room, but it's still that clean brick quasi-Gothic architecture. There's barely little more than a cot. However, it leaves room for you to bring in what you want to bring in. It is private. You have locks on an actual door. For the first time, perhaps that you can remember, you actually have a room with privacy to do with as you wish. So, before I forget, you are waking up in this room, but everyone else is waking up in their individual spaces as well. Each of you have to subtract 1 point of blood from your pools at the start of this new night. Welcome to night 4, everyone. So as you are awakening in this room, Tabby, how are you feeling and what are you doing?
Tabby wakes up feeling hungry. It has been a bit since she's had a good thorough feed, but she has at least she's not starving. She's supped, just not dined. uh so definitely thinking about doing that tonight. Otherwise, looking around the nice room, she is taking it in because while she definitely did have her own place, kind of, in Louisville, it did not have a lock. It did not have a sense of real privacy. It just had a sense of this is my space in kind of more of a understanding type of way.
You had an alcove somewhere in a sewer.
Yeah,
This is an actual room.
Tabby did not, have a room. So at, right now, she's not exactly sure what to do with that. Just didn't really expect to have privacy. So she's going to dwell on that. But more immediately coming to her mind, she has been thinking a lot about finding her place here in Savannah. And one of the things that she knows she wants to do is so all the other vampires that have lived here for years have their bases covered. And so many times when she's been asked, what do you provide here that is useful or unique? She hasn't really had an answer. And most of the time when she has tried to come up with an answer, the response has understandably been, that is a thing we all do. So she's deciding that while she still wants to find something unique, she needs to be sure to have those bases covered before she can start really coming up with, and this is the service that I provide. So one thing that she knows she wants to figure out and work on is the ability to not be seen and the ability to move invisibly, both metaphorically and literally.
Something to consider is while there is truth in the fact, yes, that is something we all do, being competent at the expected skill set means you are at least another tool in the toolbox. It might look like all the others, but when there are many tasks that require to be done, there's one more person that can be applied to it.
Exactly.
So,
Thank you. But yes, she is going to want to find. She knows that there are several Nosferatu obviously down here. She never actually saw how. I don't think she saw Ellie display any obfuscation. But she wants to think of who would be the smartest one to approach and start asking about this. She knows that was it
well, while you're thinking of that, for Ellie's player, remind me, did you use obfuscate while you were going on your blackmail endeavor?
I feel like I would have had to ensure that I don't get seen.
That's right,
I
you
didn't do the face.
Just hid.
I just hid. I think I was prepping a face on the off chance I get seen, but I'm pretty confident in my hiding abilities that I didn't need to.
Okay. Just had to check. So, you are both in your respective rooms within the same hallway. You're not immediate neighbors, but you could throw a rock from your room and hit the other. Does one go to the other?
Yeah.
Or are you leaving each other be?
Reflecting on what you've just mentioned and reminded her of, she knows that the two people she has seen display obfuscation abilities and who at least don't seem to immediately hate her are Lila and Ellie. Lila has grounds to, but doesn't seem to yet. So she at least is going to approach the neighbor first, asking for a cup of obfuscate. No, sorry. But yes, she will go to her door and will gently rap on it. Ellie?
You'll hear the locks unlock and then the door open. Oh, hi.
Evening. I don't want to take up your time, but I also kind of do. But the most immediate question I have to determine whether or not you feel like letting me in, where and how did you get practice in doing the hide thing, the obfuscate?
I learned from my sire, and I practiced by stealing blood bags from the morgue.
Cool. I unfortunately my sire is not on hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I really am looking for a tutor. Do you think you could teach me? Even just offhand recommendations? I, of course, am willing to and expect to do my own training, but you've done something I can't yet, and I want to fix that.
Get in.
Thank you.
Closes the door, and you'll probably, if you look at Ellie's screens, you'll see that a bunch of the stuff is like mortal newspaper articles about stuff that has happened in Louisville, Kentucky.
Did you say that you'd be looking this up? I know we've.
I don't think Ellie told you that they would be looking this up. I don't recall them saying.
Then yeah, she's kind of staring at the screens and is not shocked, but is immediately distracted and forgets why she came in for the moment that she's reading other people's info for the first time of what's happened, just of whatever is on screen.
Yeah, kind of wild what they the others will say about what happened in our world.
Yeah. I didn't really know what excuse or reason they came up with.
Well, you're not listed in the currently confirmed list of survivors.
Is someone named Angel?
Do I know that, Ram?
The name does not appear on either list.
Doesn't appear on any of the lists.
Well, I guess that's comforting.
Does mean it's incomplete at the very least.
Point of order.
Yep.
You would also note that that is a negative that is difficult to prove. Because you've been around just long enough to know that someone that is sufficiently old enough may not leave actual remains when they properly die. There may be an emaciated corpse. There may be dusted bones. There may just be a pile of ash. And that can get easily lost if the building is on fire. How do you prove if that person is gone? How do you prove that they're alive other than seeing them walk through?
I was trained by her for a long time, but I enjoyed working on this. And she just kind of like flexes her hands.
Uh-huh.
I worked on physical strength with her most of the time. I found that the most cathartic,
And did
lacking it in most of my mortal life. So
and did she suspect that you were going to be attacked by Sabat?
if she did not tell me.
Hmm.
Anyway, uh, sorry, got distracted by your setup.
Um, makes sense. So, what can you tell me about the other new kids?
Mm. Well, we've got. Let me actually check my mental notes for stuff that I would know. I imagine you've got most of their names.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we've got Cora,
Mm-hmm.
is very good at driving. Pretty sure has a very important uh, sire. Let me see what it. She's reflecting back on the day when everyone was actually uh, introduced. There it is. Cora's sire was someone named Essen Seneschal of Frankfurt. Do you remember that? I think that was pretty treated with some import.
Good to know.
I at least can tell you everyone's sire name. I think that that's some useful info if you weren't there for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mine's Angel,
Mm-hmm.
in case that wasn't obvious.
No, I
Uh,
gathered that.
Poppy's was someone named Richard LeBlanc. There
Sorry, who?
was Richard LeBlanc?
No. Poppy?
Yeah. Oh, do you not know Poppy?
Poppy
She,
wasn't among the ones I met.
oh, yeah, there's at least one more of us. Uh, Toreador. Very one of the yeah. But she's nice. Certainly hasn't done anything to me yet.
They will.
I mean, probably.
So, Poppy
Well, to
uses
go
her.
through the names, there, just in case you were missing any of the other ones, there was me, Kate, Cora, Artem, this Poppy, and technically someone named Max, but he's dead.
I did hear about that.
Brutal stuff.
What do you think of Kate and Cora's relationship?
Kate, some important person from DC, Cora, some important person from Frankfurt.
Hmm.
Similar worlds, at least. In terms of how they've interacted, haven't been around them for most of it. I've been in the Warrens and elsewhere, but they seem to be vibing on at least that similarity between them. Seem to be getting along well.
And they all have places to live?
Pretty sure if I know that some of them come from some significant money. Kate for sure. I'm pretty sure Cora does, at least with that background. I don't know about Poppy. I think Artem, even if he did come with money, prefers
Well,
camping.
Artem's also, I'm guessing, involved somehow with with Chris, so probably
Yeah.
somewhere where the Primogen is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I know Kate has somewhere else to live. Leary,
On border, you would also know that that Primogen is the Seneschal, which is probably his higher title.
Oh, got it. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. Cora, not Cora, Jesus. Ellie is going to go to the computer, close down the various windows, and pull up a maps app of the various like morgues and maybe even some blood centers in Savannah, with the idea of just like pulling a list up and going, which one do you want to try first?
there'd be a person here, or this would be a place to practice?
Well, if you want to be able to start sneaking through things, you have to first learn how to sneak through security systems.
Hmm.
And these are, well, morgues are not exactly. There's not usually a lot to steal from them. Unless you're one of us. And
Yeah.
even then, you can make enough that it's a clerical error.
I think the morgue sounds like a good idea.
I imagine at this point that Ellie has an idea of the different types of morgues that are in the city. So would probably, to start, go with a morgue that Ellie knows has like maybe a security system at some point or a guard, but like enough that, you know, if something bad happens, it's not going to be utterly terrible.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. Okay. Now the question is, how do you plan to get there? Let's address that for a quick question. Because they're not all going to be in the, say, central part of town. You're going to have to go somewhere. And yes, you could technically walk there, but it would take you all night just to do it. So you'd have to either make that your whole night or have some other mode of transit.
You know anyone who can get us a ride?
Well, there's at least the person who brought me here, but I don't think I don't think he's really a person that I would call so much as it's his job to transport us.
The driver?
You know that to be, you're talking about the person that brought you to Wormslow?
Yes.
The first night? That would be Baxter.
Baxter, yeah. And I don't think he's really someone that just anyone calls for a lift. I think that is more of like official business type stuff.
No, he'll only do that probably if one of the higher ups say he has to.
You actually would have an idea. Felix.
Yes. For the audience, but
another Nosferatu who seems to get into more trouble upstairs. So he's more willing to go do crime if he can be bothered to.
Wait, Felix or Fitz?
What did I put? It's been been a
I
minute.
believe you put Fitz.
Uh,
If he's someone that
Yeah, Fitz.
that's why I was so confused. I was like,
Long
who did
day.
I forget?
He's got a nickname.
Yeah. You shorten Fitz to Felix. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
There is someone who, if we tell him we're doing a crime, he'll probably be down to help.
Heard. What's his pay rate? He often engages services.
How much of a wild card you're willing to take on?
That's interestingly worded. Well, if he's someone who is known criminal, actively has other not resources, but people use him as one.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt his immediate goal is to get him or us necessarily caught or in a doomed situation.
Yes.
Certainly, unless like this is some super underground person that no one knows about. So, I'm willing to take on a wild card.
All right. I guess we'll go find Fitz.
Yeah, certainly for the sake of the immediacy and getting this, we do need to figure out transportation if he's not a reliable, consistent one. Let's meet this guy.
Guess I need to do some online shopping for a car or something.
So, do you two try to track down Fitz?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He's not in student housing, for one thing. There are a few errant Nosferatu lingering around the entirety of the Warrens. They're mostly trying to keep to themselves. Sometimes they're talking to each other, but they duck into alcoves when they see other people that they're not looking to talk to. A few stand their ground. So if you want to just ask around, hey, have you seen Fitz? Eventually one of them will point you in a direction, not necessarily the right direction at first. But it's more or less in the correct cardinal direction. And you find that almost church-like room with the old pews. Mason is talking with, well, unfamiliar to Tabby. But for Ellie, you would recognize the heavy long coat, dark green. And while it's not vanishingly rare for Nosferatu to have hair, it is rare for them to have an almost full head of hair. To the point where you're wondering if this is a toupee or something. But it's got a little bit of gray running into it, especially the sideburns. But he still has all the telltale signs, the pallid green skin, the elongated ears, the dagger-like teeth and smile, dark eyes. That they don't seem to glow, but there's almost this bloom lighting effect around the irises that you can't quite tell if it's real or your imagination. Do you go and interrupt, or
I think we get nearby and make it a point to respectfully wait. Unless you think of a different manner of approach.
Not sure how long this will take. Yeah, well, we'll wait. Um, Probably best not to try to. I was going to use this as a teaching moment of like showing Tabby a little bit of obfuscating, but probably not best to do around the Primogen.
Hmm. So while you're patiently waiting, you hear a little bit of skittering around you. The sound of an animal. So I'm going to give both of you the opportunity to roll perception alertness at an 8.
I did get one success.
Okay.
Perception alertness.
Mm-hmm.
As a reminder of mechanics, the 8 is what we are trying to reach to have a success, correct?
An 8 or higher.
Great.
So
Oh, no.
Same thing in D&D of if it meets it, it beats it.
Right. Thank you.
I got 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
They are negated by the 2 ones.
No.
So it's at least just a failure, not a botch.
It was like 8, 9, 1, 1.
So Tabby got 1 success?
No failures.
Okay.
Or no ones.
Okay. You notice something, but you're not able to keep track of exactly where it's coming from. You look in one direction, but as you turn, it's right in your face. And it's standing on its haunches on the top of one of the pews. A raccoon that seems just a little too intelligent for its own good. Head tilted. Its little front paws up, but in a way that's looking like... It doesn't look like little cute little hands as much as it looks like it could just rip out your heart in more ways than one. It's a little bigger, a little chubbier than you would expect a raccoon to be. But it
Tabby will kind
tilts
of
its
like...
head, looking at you back and forth, and looks at Ellie.
Tabby will bow to it without lowering her gaze from it. Just kind of a...
Has Ellie met this animal before?
If you've met Fitz, you've met this animal.
Do I know if you're supposed to bow?
I would say you wouldn't know what the outcome of that would be yet. Because unless you did that when meeting them.
Ellie just kind of like looks to Tabby as Tabby is bowing.
Did I insult it? Was that not
No,
the thing to do?
I just think you don't need to do that.
Oh, I mean, he's looking right at us like he's expecting something. It seemed like the nonverbal way to introduce myself.
So you're focused locked on this raccoon right now, I'm assuming.
Very much.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, basically out of frame of your own vision, a hand grab it by the scruff of the neck, and then you follow the hand as it's putting this creature on his shoulder. Hi, kids.
Hi, Fitz.
I see him at Jub Jub.
It's a pleasure. Is that Chub Chub or Jub Jub?
Jub Jub.
Jub Jub.
J-U-B, J-U-B.
So, Fitz,
Uh-huh.
this one needs to learn how to be a little stealthy. And I thought the best way to do that was to sneak into a morgue and steal some blood bags. So,
You had me at crime. But the
yeah,
question is, what do I get out of it? What's your sell point?
uh-huh. Part of it was entertainment value, but I understand that might not quite be enough.
Well, depends.
about
What's the entertainment value? Am I intending to see one of you fall down a flight of stairs? Like what are we doing here?
I think Tabby is probably very good at falling downstairs. Also, I could
probably better
need
than you, Ed.
something. You need something. Is there something you need bought online?
If it's online, I can find it myself. Now, that might work on some of these other ones, but we'll keep that in mind.
What about the info? Oh,
So
kind
wait,
of.
hold on a second. You want to go into the morgue and you want to steal blood. Okay. Right? That's the gimmick here.
Yes.
Yes, it's part stealing, it's part crime, part training.
Okay. Well, there's other things at a morgue that are worth stealing. Not a lot of blood there. It's usually the things they take out of the person. Now, here's the question. What do they pump them back up with?
Formaldehyde.
Top marks on this one. You can
You
use
want some of that
formaldehyde.
stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So
Don't
what,
ask
we bring
why.
the body back with you, or do you... No, you want this stuff. It's I'm trying to never mind. Yeah.
I can see where this one needs help. Okay. Walk and talk, kids. Now, I'm assuming... Yes, I see you. Jump. So, I'm assuming you came to me because none of you know how to drive.
I can only speak for myself, and that is true.
I know how to drive, I just don't have a car.
But you're going to find stuff for me. Yep, never mind. Fine. So. Okay. We can do this. As he's going to pull you down one of the many labyrinthine corridors. All right, so what's your name again? It's
Tabby.
Tabby. Okay. What can you do?
I can punch through brick walls.
Okay.
That would probably hurt my wrists, but...
Can you go invisible? Huh?
If I'm standing still, I can't do much more than that yet.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because you're one of the young ones. All right. Okay. So
I can do the stealth stuff. I just can't do it super well and unassisted.
Okay. So here's the thing. It's not the end of the world. Because even if you could go pop invisible, all right? Cameras still catch that shit. The only thing you're going to trick is if someone's actually watching it here and now. So you have to go back and destroy the tapes anyways. So, the trick is, you're not supposed to be seen at all. Hey, Techie.
Yeah.
You know how to turn off the cameras?
Yes, if they're connected to a network, I can easily turn off the cameras.
Okay. Half of these things haven't been upgraded since 85, so you put in a little
Y2K should've
alligator
taken 'em out.
clip into a socket somewhere on a service line underneath the building, you could pretty much turn off half the building.
So you want to do that instead of having Tabby learn to sneak around cameras?
Insurance.
I mean, go around them as if they were there. It would just be a nightmare for them to be active. Shadowboxing.
Here's the thing. It's great if you can go and be unseen, but if you're actually unseen entirely. So it's a good skill. Let's get you working beyond just spooky magic powers, okay? Let's get you thinking about how to actually work in the real world. Because that's going to be the real trick. Because I don't know if anybody's told you yet, but all the shit we can do, you, me, Toreador, Ventru, it's unreliable. This is the thing that you gotta work on.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm getting that impression. Okay. You. Because remember, it's not the tech that's the problem, right? It's always the people.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. It's all about the social engineering. You can find a way to get a key without having to worry about all that biometric bullshit. It's an old ass coroner's office. They're not going to have any of that anyways. But you know what I mean. It's all about getting the things you need without having to invent it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways you can just walk into a place as if you belong. So we're going to have some fun with that. Huh?
Sounds good to me.
No, I'm not going in there.
Cool.
I'm going to drive. And if you fuck around, I hear alarms going off. That car's not going to be there when you come out.
Makes total sense.
So that's something you got to keep in mind. I am not putting my neck on the chopping block. Good?
Good.
Okay, so let's get going. And as you start to filter through the many corridors and find another access tunnel upwards, another garage through a hidden wall, a more recent but not totally late model sedan, nondescript, the kind that won't stand out in a crowd. Darkened windows, not unlike what Lila has. Jub Jub. It first gets in the passenger seat. And he goes, nah. Come on. I'm not going to be their fucking Uber. One of you dipshits you're riding up front with me. I don't care which.
Mother.
What did you say? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
He was asking one of us to sit up front.
Yeah. I didn't hear your response. That was
Yeah,
the question.
it was a little muffled. Jub Jub glares at Tabby as you're trying to get into that seat. And there's a long stare down.
Sir, I don't want your seat. Saying to Jub Jub.
And it looks like it's going to try and put up its middle finger at you, but it doesn't have the opposable nature to do so. And it looks more like it's just sort of like doing the Sopranos full hand before it just and then skitters over the center console to sit in the back and turns its head and slowly looks at Ellie. Like it's trying to establish dominance. Like, yes, we're both in the back seat, but I own the back seat. It's trying to just stare down with you.
Tabby will do the American Sign Language attempt to add sorry. And then just kind of turn her gaze away.
Ellie's gonna stare down this raccoon.
Okay. So, while you are all in transit, we're going to pan the camera away from that scene to someone waking up in rather diametrically opposed surroundings. Comparatively, opulence. In a very eerily similar way, this is perhaps the first time in a very long time you've had your own room, your own space. Now, while there's not a lock, you notice that most of the doors in the house don't really seem to have locks either. This is still your space. It was given to you. How are you feeling about that right now on this new night?
I think she kind of wakes to the night with a smile, just like a soft smile, even as she was sleeping, just finally being able to feel like she has at least a little semblance of her own something, her own safety, her own security, even though it's just a morsel of something that belongs to someone else. Um, and I think she does the thing where if you are ever traveling and staying in a hotel room where you have your items, and these are your items, and this may just be me, this may just be pointing out a Helena eccentricity, but I have my items and I'm going to arrange them in the most pleasing way because these are my items and I like to have them here. I think she will like unpack her little duffel bag that she has with everything she owns in it, and lay everything out on one of the dressers in the room in like the most pleasing way, and like put everything away with such like meticulous planning that brings her a lot of joy as she's kind of like waking up and getting ready, because she needs to feed.
George Carlin did a whole act about how a house is just a place for your stuff. If you travel anywhere, you're bringing a smaller version of your stuff with you.
Yeah.
And when you go and visit a certain place, like, oh, hey, we're going to go stay over at this person's place, or we're going to go over to the islands, like, you have to bring an even smaller version of your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have been whittled down to a handful of your stuff.
Yeah.
You have stuff back at the cottage that you would have to go and fetch.
Yeah.
Some of it at least has some sentimental value, if not entirely economic, if you were to fence any of it.
Right.
So that would be a consideration if you want to get that tonight, so you don't have to go back there again.
So if she can plan it so that, I guess she would maybe be closer to an area to feed first and then grab things and come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's her idea.
Well, either way, you're going to need a bit of transport.
Yes.
So how would you like to effectuate that? You know that there is probably a garage in this overwrought, luxurious house.
Mm-hmm.
You know at least one car that would go in there. Some fancy mid-engine Exotica that maybe you shouldn't drive, but God, wouldn't it be fun?
It would be very, very pretty. She might, in that case, kind of peer out of her room, see if she can see or hear Nico anywhere, puttering around or doing whatever he do.
It's a large enough house that you get the impression, well, you don't have a wing to yourself. There's a certain amount of bubble privacy as well. That they
Okay.
have more portions of the house to themselves. So you'd have to go
Got it.
looking.
Yeah, I think she'll kind of go looking around, not yelling out or anything. She doesn't want to seem uncouth, but she will look for Nico specifically.
Okay. You would have to go to the more common center of the house, usually where the front door, lobby, staircases, kitchens, and living room type areas would be.
Yeah, she'll head
And-
over.
Okay. You would find him sitting at the kitchen island, reading the paper, but looking at the obituaries.
She'll say, any good news?
Oh, it's always nice when one of these old bats that you sold something to 35 years ago up and dies,
Why is that? Why is that good?
because now it's back on the market.
Ah,
Creates little
that's more
bidding
interesting.
wars. Or it's something to go and take. It really depends on who it is.
Mm. What's on the move now then? What type of thing?
Well, before we get to my business,
Hmm.
let's get to yours.
Ah, yes.
Uh-huh. You have a few things you should probably take care of tonight.
Yes, one of which, and the one that's most present currently, is that I am a bit hungry, so I will probably need to go feed, which brings me to my second thing, which is I need to figure out a way to get around that's not just walking. Do you have any wise thoughts about that?
I asked before if you actually knew how to drive or if you were just a professional passenger princess.
I'm an aspiring professional passenger princess, but for now I'm sure I will need to drive myself.
Good, good. We love a independent woman.
That's what they say.
So, two things. You're going to need to feed.
Yeah.
You probably have some things at Wormslow you need to pick up.
Yes.
You're going to need a wardrobe.
Very much so. I feel like
As much
looks
as
down at
as much as I enjoy this, I'm seeing it a lot now. We need to diversify that portfolio.
Agreed.
So that'll be the next thing you do. After that, are you ready to start at your job?
Oh, certainly. Yeah,
Good.
that sounds great.
Because we're going to need to get you sorted at the shop to at least sell the image that you work there.
Right.
And you will have to work there sometimes, but let's work on the image of it first. To that point, when you go shopping, however you're planning to do that, whether legitimate or five-finger discount, get something that's professional, but a little showy, a little glammy. You need the pieces to somewhat sparkle on you if you're going to be selling that sparkle.
I have some ideas.
I would hope so. Now, since you have a history of dazzling of people so you can take something from them, the way you're doing
Allegedly.
this... Oh, look who you're
I
talking
know,
to.
I know.
This time you're going to be dazzling them out of actual cash for goods and services, which, in a way, is its own trick. If they only knew the lack of value a diamond actually had, they would know they're being completely and utterly fleeced.
Right.
But that's part of the lie we sell. It's not all that different from what you were doing before.
Yeah.
Now it's taxable.
Great.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Great.
Kidding me? Of course, we have people in the IRS. They don't bother us.
No, of course not.
They bother someone else if we tell them, but don't worry about it.
Interesting.
It's all a bit of the game. Now, you need a ride.
Yes.
I'm not driving you. I have things to do.
I would imagine so. Mm-hmm.
If I were to give you keys to a car, are you going to put it in a ditch? Are you going to sell it for parts?
No.
That's good because I know where you sleep.
This is true.
So does she.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would love to see that aftermath.
I wouldn't see that aftermath, I'm guessing.
Oh. Very good.
Thank you. I learned
Can
very
be
quickly.
taught.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Okay. All right, come with me.
Okay.
He walks you through the house and into the garage, but that is a rather understated term. It is not just gray-black tarmac with grease stains and some tools lying around and stuff with boxes and a single car. This is a row of cars. Some of them fairly glitzy. You see at least a Rolls, but a classic. You see his Pagani. You see a Maserati. In let's go with purple. Something nice and loud. You see a dented car that doesn't seem to belong to the rest. It seems more like a workhorse sedan. Or sorry, rather, it's a what did I have in my notes for this? An SUV. Older style. Looks like maybe something that may have been used as an earlier generation of the Range Rovers at Wormslow. But more of a muted dark brown, somewhat understated, but does not belong with the other cars. Next to that is a late model four-door Lexus. And he takes the keys for the Lexus off the wall. Lobs them in your direction.
I catch them, hopefully.
Yeah. Have fun.
I
will. It occurs to me. Are you planning to go stealing clothes? Or are you planning to buy clothes?
With what I am dealing with currently, it would be a 5-finger discount situation.
No, we can't have that.
Not for nice stuff, I would imagine.
I mean, if you're stealing something while hiding it among things you're actually buying, easier to get away with. But if you're just walking in and out, not making a purchase, someone's going to be looking at you.
Yep.
So, I'm going to reach into the inside of his jacket pocket, take out his wallet. He's going to take out a credit card. And he's going to, it's like, receipts.
I'll do.
I can't have you ill-equipped. So we'll consider this in advance to
Great.
get you started. A little bit of seed money for your next endeavor.
Thank you.
Don't make me regret it.
I won't.
See, they
Though, as
always
she,
start
like-
out saying that as he's walking away.
As he's walking away and she's like holding the card, she like looks down at it and gets just this feeling like through her spine of like, ugh, I've done this before, kind of. This feels different, but the same. And she quickly kind of brushes that thought away and then puts that in her own wallet and goes to the Lexus. A little bit of Lexus. Let's go.
Now, for shits and grins, I'm going to let you describe anything about it that maybe you would like.
Oh, Graham, I don't know cars very well.
I gave you this one opportunity.
I'm like, pink polka dots and no. I think it's probably sleek and elegant is her dream for the car. Nothing beige. She can't handle beige.
No, I would say it would be a glittering metallic silver.
Beautiful.
But the right sheen there has this dark silver overtone to it. Like a little of that chameleon paint style.
Yeah. There's like a gradient and kind of a hue shift.
It was like pearlescent kind of metallic sheen.
Yeah, I like it.
And the garage door lifts. You drive out into the historic district of Savannah. It's early enough that you can still find shops open. And some of the more boutique ones would definitely still be open. So, where do you want to go? Are we looking at big box kind of stuff? Are we looking at boutique-y? What's the order of the day here? I'm assuming there has to be a little bit of a mix, but where are we? What's the ratio here?
I think starting with boutique-y stuff, boutique is always good for blouses and tops. I feel like you can get something that's kind of different and fun, and then you want to get the quality items, like, you know, fine clothes that are going to be like your blazers, your skirts, your pants. The shirt is where she wants to have like the more bespoke look.
Okay.
And nice shoes. She'll get nice shoes.
Now, as much as the music playing is absolutely appropriate, and I love you, Sam, your music choices always make me happy when I'm doing my rewatches. What I'm imagining is a montage of a modern dark pop version of Madonna's Material Girl.
Yes.
Doing a medley with Dress You Up in My Love.
Ooh. Correct.
As she's going through her Pretty Woman moment, but solo.
Yeah.
And We can montage this that she's going through various shops, accruing more bags and a cat.
And a cat. Can you imagine? I would not. Poppy would not bring a cat to that historic home without permission. Or just another huge dog.
For those at home, normally I don't like to break too much of the pace of things, but hold up the cat and tell them the cat's name.
Hello everyone, I'm cat sitting. This is Crunchwrap Supreme. She is 4 months old, full of beans, full of crime, and is just, I don't know, the love of my life. She's wonderful. But she's been sleeping on my lap and just woke up. Yeah.
Interesting with Sam right there that you say that.
If she were playing,
Sam is my other love of my life.
If Crunchwrap Supreme were playing, she would play Fitz.
At one point, Helena said that I was a very close second to cats, and that's the biggest compliment I ever got.
I love you almost as much as cats.
The musical.
Graham, that is my favorite musical. We're not going to talk about it now, but we'll go into it later, and maybe in therapy. Yeah.
Your discussion of the butthole cut aside.
Oh, sorry, I hated the movie. The movie was bad. Anyway.
So you are
montage.
Getting all the things you need. Is there a particular thing that you are most requiring?
I think what she most requires, I think the favorite thing that she's going to be looking for will be a boutique item, because she wants something that is like nothing you would ever see, I think, on anyone else. If she can find that kind of like one bespoke item in a boutique, she's going to figure out how to make it work for her, and maybe even plan to get it like to hire a seamstress maybe. But she wants a very beautiful kind of bluish indigo dress that she can put like a blazer on for work, but then she can use outside of work for going out to like a nice restaurant or going to a nice bar or stuff like that.
Okay. Dress it up, dress it down.
Yeah. Something that's versatile but beautiful and will be like her kind of staple. Yeah, she wants something that when people come in, they go, oh.
She'd get a couple different versions that she could play around with, so it's not just the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A few different colors of the same item.
Yeah, same kind of silhouette, I think. Something very small in the waist.
With her shopping trip more or less dealt with, you get that. Actually, you tell me, what's your blood pool at right now?
It's low. It is 1, 2, 3. It's 9.
9. Okay, that's not
1,
bad
2, 3,
though.
4, 5,
Out of how
6,
many though?
Out of 12.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Could be worse.
That's pretty common to be just a little bit of I could eat.
Yeah.
You're not at half and going, I could eat the world. You are just I skipped breakfast. You've done your task. You've done one of your tasks.
Yes.
Now, do you want to deal with your hunger now or after your retrieval?
I feel like after she has all this stuff, she's like, well, I need to go grab the other stuff, combine stuff, and then go and deal with the hunt. Like, she wants to get the stuff module done.
Okay.
Yeah. She's compartmentalizing in so many ways today.
So to that end, you're going to get back on the road. You're now leaving the like downtown proper where all the boutique stuff would be. You're getting on the highway, heading towards Wormslow. Are you thinking about where you want to actually feed?
Because she had spoken with Clarice about kind of the SCAD area, she might want to go and kind of, since she is not as hungry as Eat the World hunger, she might want to kind of peer around there and see what she can see. And then if she wants to, she could if it's dire, she could text the mousy girl and just
Mm.
do that.
So you did keep her number.
Yes.
Okay. So. But you're going to do Wormslow first, right? That's the...
Yeah, Wormslow first.
You are stopped at the gate, as you would expect. They're giving you the once-over. Especially because it's not a car they recognize. But seeing as how you're more visible through the glass because it's untinted windshield, it's perhaps less of an escapade than it could be. They do get you to roll down the window. There is a little bit of a conversation of just a confirmation. It's not a, we're holding you up, how dare. It's just, name again, you're here for, understood. Wave you through. Do you stop at the main house first, or do you go straight down to the cottage?
Does she get the idea that it would be important to make a stop at the main house if she's coming by? Just
It's
from an
hard to
etiquette
say.
standpoint?
You probably, if you're thinking of etiquette on the way there, you might just want to do that anyways, just to
Yeah.
be certain.
Okay, so yeah, she'll stop by the main house just to kind of say hello.
Mm-hmm.
See what there is to see.
Okay. If it's okay, we're going to pause your scene there for a moment, and we're going to pan the camera over to the other person that would be waking up at Wormslow. Another night in a slowly becoming more familiar room, but one you know you cannot get attached to. How are you feeling today?
Cora feels good. Last night was mostly positive, though that a moment with Lewis predicting something that seemed not to occur, that did give her a little pause. But it's all right. She has things to do tonight. An appointment with Leland is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to need to talk to her whip. Because after talking it over with everybody the night before, she's decided that reaching out to her clan for housing is going to be the best way forward.
Now, you had sent a couple of overseas texts, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You were waiting on one from Gerhardt and Heinrich. Now, Gerhardt, you had asked about Essen and Vesper, correct?
That's right. I asked if my sire had any familiarity with Kate's.
You get back from Gerhardt a I'm trying to think if there's an actual German word for it, and I know there has to be. There is always a German word for everything, but you get
Yes.
basically the equivalent of a resounding shrug.
Huh.
Completely and utterly neutral, no seeming recognition, no seeming animosity or acknowledgement. So hard to say one way or the other, but who knows?
She'll send back just a quick, in German, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for asking. I don't know what I expected, but somehow not this.
A few moments later, you get back. I was curious too. I'll see if I can needle him further. Now, remind me, what was the text you had sent to Heinrich?
It was just a brief
Mhm.
little hi, I'm doing well, I hope you are too,
Mhm.
when he reached out. And because Heinrich would have got her new phone number through Essen,
Mhm.
she poked a little and said, he did give you my phone number.
You don't seem to get any immediate response to the, oh, I see Essen gave you my number. There's this. You've caught this very early on. There is a compartmentalization of the other person. And it's just, I'm glad you're doing well. Almost went skating the other day. Didn't see the point.
Oh.
Let me know if you need anything. And that's it.
Oh my goodness. Make me cry right away. All right. After sitting on that for just a minute, she will write back. Of course, miss you.
There is no immediate response. Possibly because of time zone. Possibly because he's busy. You know what he does for a living. But what do you do now that you are up and about?
Yeah, Cora would have gotten dressed in something similar to what I'm actually wearing tonight. You know, patterned dress shirt, 3/4 sleeve, like blazer. Just trying to be a little bit more professional in case she does have to meet with her Primogen or her whip tonight when she needs to ask for a place to stay. So she'll get dressed. She'll probably would treat herself to, if there is in the cottage, a shower, one of those. Even though they're not super necessary, just because she likes the way it warms her up. And maybe to get some of the bar smell off of her from the other night.
Yeah.
And
easily done.
After that, she'd walk out into the night air, kind of glance towards the shed near the cottage, see if Olivia's about.
You don't see any activity there, but the night is still quite early. She had mentioned, I believe before, that she was staying at one of the other small cottages if she was intending to get up to immediately tend to a garden. So it may not be something she does all the time.
Can I see the other cottages from here?
You'd have to go for a little bit of a walk, but you could. And if you commit to that, You notice a few wooden individual cottages meant to be more of for a single person, very temporary. However, knowing at least a few things you've heard from Gerhardt, a few things you've heard from Essen, and probably more than a few things you've heard from Heinrich, you know sometimes these aren't just for vacation stays.
Interesting.
So, and considering you've met the sheriff, sometimes these places have more of a intentional seclusion where very private conversations can happen, or where someone needs to be staked down for an indeterminate amount of time.
Cora then definitely wonders about these places. How many of them are occupied? Who are people maybe passing through? Who are people who are the retainers of the court?
You noticed a few other off-roads on your way from the main house and off of the main road that leads into Wormlow proper. You know there are a few different structures along the property. You didn't see what you would consider a bedroom at Wormslow proper. So it's at least a good inference that Atherton probably stays somewhere on Elysium grounds. That some of the staff that supports the place either stays on the grounds or live very close by.
Even if it proves that she won't be able to find Olivia tonight, going through a walk like this is just nice to take in the surroundings, to appreciate everything about this place that's taken her in before she moves on. Try to remember some of it. Do I have the understanding that the rule about no use of powers is for the entire grounds, or is it just the main house?
It does get a bit gray the further away you get from the house. In the sense that, say for Gangrel or Nosferatu, they may need to use some of their more exotic abilities just to get there and onto the grounds. Maybe you don't know too much about how they work, so that may not be occurring to you. Some, you get the impression, hunt on the grounds, and they may have to use their abilities for that. In the main house, you know that if somebody does that, well, you know what can happen. What kind of ability are you trying to use?
I think at first just a heightened senses, just to enjoy the night that much more.
Well, a point of order. There are some abilities that are very hard to prove that anyone did at all. Auspex being the primary one. Who's to say that you have sharper, more acute senses than you did a moment ago? Just because you read someone's aura doesn't mean that they know that you did that. So if you were to use any power set in Elysium, this would be the safest one.
Wonderful. Cora tends to like to push just a little. So in that case, let's turn on the aura ability of her Auspex as well and see if she can see anybody through the house. These houses as she's strolling past.
It's actually a very good question. to see if this will permeate a structure or not. So
Yeah, I don't know if it shall.
So I don't actually know that off the top of my head.
It'll be instructive for her if it doesn't either way.
I'd say, and maybe Cora wouldn't know this, that you need to have line of sight of your subject.
Okay.
It's
So if
been
they
usually
happen to
more-
be through a window with a, then I'll see them, but oh well.
So I would say you're not really getting much of anything in that way. Especially to get a more direct pulse on something, you have to be focused on a specific individual. In lieu of there being an actual line of sight target, it's more of a broad ping. You are getting a sense of wildlife. You can't really see where. You can't get a sense of how much. You cannot get a sense of how big, how wild. You just get a sense of there is life around you. You have no control over it, no command over it, no ability to influence it in any way. But in the way that it is sort of comforting to know that you are not in the void. You are surrounded by the living world.
She does enjoy all of that. That's one of the best things so far about waking up how she has. Thinking back to the night market and the way it felt just that much more alive. In a strange sort of twist, I guess.
No one ever said that being on this side of the curtain meant it was the end of life. Just how you perceive it.
So, I suppose when she's satisfied with her exploration, if nothing unusual catches her eye, she'll spin around and head back.
Okay. I assume you get in your car.
I do have to drive up to the main house now, yes.
And it's still, compared to everyone else, quite early in your evening. So you head on up.
I do indeed. Is Bruno out there watching?
Oh, he very much is. Bruno is a diligent man. He gives you a curt nod, but he otherwise... He doesn't seem to... I'd say that's one of those permeated into enough of a public consciousness that people kind of have a vague sense of what that means, without having to know Italian. But in terms of any acknowledgement of Italian, he just gives you a curt nod. He understands that a greeting has been made.
Cora's little mission to find out if Bruno speaks Italian without directly asking him will continue.
Sometimes a name is just a name.
Yeah, but so many people have surprisingly spoken Italian here that now she's like on the case.
So you head on in. Are you trying to find the keeper, or...
Well, tonight she knows she needs to meet Leland here eventually, but she doesn't have any particularly set agenda. She wonders if maybe she would do well to call Grace ahead of time and see if the schedule is open before she just asks for something immediately. Maybe that would be something she should do now.
Wouldn't hurt to try.
True, she can always leave a message.
Mm-hmm.
She'll go ahead and dial Grace then.
Okay.
After she gets in, maybe find a little sitting area. She likes the library, but she doesn't want to disturb Lump with chatting on the phone. So she'll find a different place to sit.
It doesn't take long. Sorry, you're gonna make the call first, you said?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. You get a busy signal.
All right, then.
So do you leave a message, a text?
Since it's a busy signal, I'll send a text that say, not urgent, just getting everything in order. Hoping I can get some housing.
Okay.
Just keep it short and to the point.
Not long after that, you are greeted by the keeper, Mr. Atherton, in his usual bespoke type of suit. Nice tie.
Atherton, good evening.
Oh, yes, Miss Violante. How are we this evening?
I'm doing well. It was a nice night last night, and should be a good one again tonight. You look nice, as always.
Oh, well, that is very kind of you. It is a high compliment coming from an individual such as yourself.
I see I'm not the only one who's skilled in flattery.
Oh, never flatter when it's true. I see you. So, is there anything I can help you with this evening?
I don't particularly think so. I'm meeting Leland here.
Ah, well, I could facilitate a room then if that would be helpful.
Actually, yes, that would be great. If you could arrange something a little private, that would be perfect.
I believe I could arrange that. I'll see about that in a moment. If you would like to just hang around here a moment, and I will come find you once I have selected a room.
Much appreciated.
There's a little nod, and he steps aside to go facilitate the house, as is his job. But before we get to that part of the scene, we are just going to take a small break, because I need a little more caffeine. Back, everyone. We pick up with Cora at Wormslow, about to be meeting with Leland Aldridge, which, to recap a little bit, is a Malkavian who oversees new additions to the clan to see what exactly is the range and limitations of their derangement, if it can be worked with, mitigated, or if this person is a liability. This was the arranged first, well, I suppose, therapy session. But let's see if that's how it goes. Atherton, of course, provides a little private parlor up on the second floor that gets a little less foot traffic than the ones downstairs. There are a few other conversations and meetings happening around the house. Some of them are just social, in terms of they lump being in the library, playing a game of chess, which, by the way, Poppy, you would have gotten a ping on your phone of they have made their move. So, maybe about half hour later, 40 minutes, Leland is being shown up to where your little parlor is.
May I ask,
Yeah.
as I was walking around and sort of just seeing other conversations going on, are there any pairings that pique my interest?
You'd have to tell me what piques your interest.
I guess I don't really know. I guess I'm just trying to keep my eyes more open now, especially after the last couple nights, one where I had the car incident, and this other here with meeting Ellie and Kate reminding Cora that she needs to wise up a little. Couldn't help
You
to
see-
keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, you see some faces that you just don't recognize because they're not, I'm not going to say they're not named NPCs, but in the sense that everyone was introduced to you, you weren't introduced to everyone else. You were the one that had to say your name, your sire, your clan in front of a room full of people. They were all looking at you while you were primarily looking at the prince, and then were introduced to your primogen.
An interesting privilege of seniority in a place like this. The longer you're around, the less people just inherently know important things about you.
The Kindred Society in general, but more specifically, the Camarilla, has been described as a gerontocracy. The older you are, the more you're going to stay in power. There is no term age out that happens. So, you could, if you wanted to, try and see if there are just conversations between friendly individuals. If you want to introduce yourself. But that is a risk of trying to wander into a situation that you have no business being in, or at least that's how they would see it. So
I think Cora is going to take a page from her previous life and just listen, not lingering long enough to arouse any suspicion. She's not trying to really get content, just tone.
You're definitely not going to be catching words. You get the impression that people are well practiced at how to have a conversation in Elysium. Some of them are more hushed than others, but you're not getting a sense of fervor or anger. Just privacy.
Does she happen to see the guy that ran off with, or that was going to meet Kate but ran off? Because she happens to know that he and Savini went to go do something, and she's kind of curious about what that was.
I believe you're asking about Mr. Innsbruck.
Yes, the cleaner.
No, I just happened to close all my windows at the same time. Good job, me.
I don't think she got his
no,
name.
the cleaner cleaned your tabs.
Tad meta.
Interestingly, I think she has his name in the phone, right? But no, that's not what we got. So
I don't recall off the top of my head.
I just looked. It's not in our list of
Okay.
contacts, so no. She just has a face. I don't think we talked about his name with Kate that night.
You would see him talking in private, very private, with a very stylish man with sort of that not quite blonde, not quite brunette mop of hair, thick brown glasses, matching what's the right word for this? Sort of a flowery pattern for a ascot and the pocket square.
Cool.
But not someone you would recognize. You would recognize Innsbruck on sight, but you have no formal introduction to him, I believe.
I think she will do that thing. She'll do the NPC wait and go and like post up kind of nearby, probably like lean against the wall with like her arms folded and her legs crossed, just like chilling. And if they happen to conclude before Leland shows up, she will inquire about the previous night's events, and if not, no biggie. But she doesn't know him, so she's not just gonna barge in there and be like, hey, let me ask you this unimportant thing. I'm somebody you don't know.
You do see Innsbruck in his dark suit, arms crossed, but leaning in rather conspiratorially to talk with this individual, and you see his eyes flicker in your direction. And then that roll back towards the person he's talking to without ever seemingly interrupting his own conversation. You have pinged on his personal sonar.
Interesting.
And it's just, you get the sense of someone that has made a very prominent mental note. Because you've probably seen this in your line of work in one way or another, but probably less in a shark-like manner. There is some indication of agreement or understanding between the two. And Innsbruck begins to walk away. And as he's walking by you, Miss Violante, was it?
That's right. I don't believe I've caught your name. She'll stand up from the wall and extend a hand.
He looks to his conversation partner, who just gives a nod, and he walks on out. He offers his hand. Nathaniel Innsbruck.
Mr. Innsbruck, pleasure to meet you. I saw you talking with Miss Fulton the other night.
Ah. Well, that saves a bit of time. Did she tell you what I do?
No, I don't think we got around to that. But did mention you and Costello got up to something last night.
Ah, well, that is at least tangentially related to what I do. Most people around here refer to me as the cleaner. You have a sense of what that is?
I take it it's not detailing cars.
Sometimes.
All right, then illuminate me.
Sometimes we have little messes on our side of the fence that need to be cleaned up. Or staged to look like something else entirely. Now, the ones that are most commonly associated with these little happenstances are those in your age group. Fledglings, neonates. So I would be all too happy to make sure you have my number should you find yourself in an unfortunate circumstance.
Do you charge for your services, or are you under contract with the court?
Oh, very much yes to both.
Of course.
You have to remember something. In our world, it's not just cash. Have you been made aware of favors, boons, that whole system?
Favors, yes. Boons? The word I don't think I recall.
Depending on the severity of an issue, Camarilla operates on boons, minor, major, life. Most people in this sect collect at least a handful of those.
I see. An open-ended commitment of a varying degree.
It depends on the situation. Sometimes, if you say to someone, I would like to offer you a boon of this magnitude in exchange for this, you are entering into a negotiation.
And what sorts of things do people normally offer you?
Depends who it is and the severity of the issue. For instance, you and, well, the rest of the kids' table. How much do you have to offer in any given situation?
Materially, probably very little. But we're new. If someone's willing to make the investment, perhaps it could pay dividends in the end.
That is certainly a good way to look at it. Now, as I recall, some of you have more prominent sires than others. That carries its own weight in favor if played correctly.
Yes. Not so much about us as our connection to others.
So you see then how you might have value to me, to others. The question is, how aware of that value are you? How adept are you at navigating the potential obligations that could create for you? How willing are you to trade on it? And what are you willing to trade?
Hopefully a little better at each of those things every night.
We shall see.
So, that matter you and Savini looked into, how did it resolve?
It resolved.
Nothing at all. Don't brag about your work, I see.
I don't discuss such things with people who are not involved in it. Discretion is part of the game for the most part. If you need to know, you'll be made aware of it.
Well, I suppose that speaks highly of you if I need to engage your services in the future. Hopefully, I would be calling on someone else's behalf.
Well, even such information like that can pay.
This is true.
For instance, he's going to lean in a little bit. If I happen to know of someone else's profound indiscretion before the powers that be do, could be useful.
Could put you in a position of leverage, but I imagine your reputation would suffer if you used that too often.
Think of it like accruing for a rainy day fund. Used judiciously. Quite effective. But here's the issue for you, Ms. Violante. You are fresh at the table and have no chips. Someone's going to need to sponsor your ante.
I have given that some thought.
Hmm. And your conclusion.
Well, since we're speaking in generalities for this conversation, I'll just say that I'm keeping my options open. I won't do anything too dangerous.
I've heard that many times.
I'm sure you have.
Well, if you won't take my number, I wish you good luck.
I will take your number.
Do you exchange yours with him?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. And unless you have anything else to add to that, there's a...
I'll
Nope.
just nod at him and
Mhm.
like, thank you, as I asked, for illuminating me.
Good luck. And as he walks away, you see him nodding to Leland as he's walking up the stairs. Hold on, because I need to have some tea if I'm going to do this, boys.
Yeah, please take your time. Got a character swap on the fly.
Yeah, it's a lot of hot swapping. Oh, Cora, good to see you.
Leyland. Raise a hand.
Shall we?
Yes, of course. Atherton picked out a room for us. It's right this way.
And he will pick a chair. Little white and filigree button back. Do you sit across from him in a chair? Do you take the couch? What's the set dressing here?
Cora will. What's the distance of the couch and the chair to him?
It's couch against the wall, little vaguely ornate but still wooden coffee table, and then chair is 45 degrees or so. About 2 feet-ish away from the couch. So enough that
Okay.
you can have distance and be looking at each other properly.
Right. Sure. She'll go ahead and sit on the couch. She won't lay down, though. It's like, I guess we should make this feel like a therapy session, right?
Whatever that means to you.
Oh, well, maybe that's a good first question then. What does it mean for us?
It's mostly a bit of we're just talking about how your particular complication works.
Mm. Right.
Everyone's a bit different, and for many of us, it is debilitating, but in degrees.
I assume your confidentiality only extends so far.
If it's something that rises to concern, that you're going to be an imminent breach, I cannot keep that to myself. If you are a danger to yourself and others, I cannot keep that to myself. If it's simply, this is your daily struggle, no one else needs to know.
Is it the sort of thing that goes straight to the sheriff, or does it go through our clan first?
Depends on the severity of the issue.
I see.
But considering 4 nights in and no such episode, I'm reasonably confident that this will be fairly straightforward.
Good, good. I'm glad you've received a positive impression so far anyway. So,
News
let's
gets
get to
around
it, huh?
fast when there's a problem.
I'm sure it does. The sheriff appears to get around fast when there's a problem too.
A great many that have been on the business end of the sheriff didn't always know that she was in the room with them.
I found that out, thankfully not the business end, but just last night.
How did that go?
I have a job interview at the end of the week, provided I don't cause any of those incidents that we were just discussing. Harlan thinks I've signed my own death sentence.
Well, let's take her out of the equation for just a moment. Sheriff's deputies, they have the highest rate of attrition of any role within the Camarilla. Very few, if any, retire from that job. They are either using it as a stepping stone to higher office, or take up a mission for this promise of attaining higher office, or they die on the job. She is not the first sheriff of Savannah.
Well, I suppose, provided the offer's extended, I can always reconsider. But
That isn't to deter you, it's just to let you understand what sort of situation you're finding yourself in. Open eyes and all that.
it's, not the exact same kind of danger, but I guess I'm no stranger to dangerous situations.
Well, that it segues into how dangerous does your complication make your life?
So far, not terribly, thankfully. I could perhaps see a scenario where it might be, but I haven't had it come to anything of that nature yet. What precisely do you want to know?
Well, what do you experience? For some, it's simple medical diagnosis of some form of bipolar. For some, it's full dissociative states. Others, debilitating forms of obsessive compulsive disorders, phobias, or more nuanced and complicated.
I have a habit of repeating myself, I guess you could say. Or I guess the environment too. I'm not sure if that's hallucinating or if there's some truth to it. But for example, you know how there are a lot of myths about us. Garlic, mirrors, these sorts of things.
Mirrors are somewhat true depending where you're looking.
I was curious about the one above the sun. And I wasn't about to take no for an answer. It's back, my hand, but it was a painful experience.
It would be.
I would almost say the most painful I've ever had.
Almost.
Almost. In any case, I still see it that way sometimes. In flashes. Charred, burned. I can feel it too.
Do you experience any other such... Actually not sure how to word this. Do you experience other phantom sensations or phantom sights? You said you repeat yourself on occasion.
That's right. Things get jumbled. The order of things, conversations. Sometimes they'll happen over and over again. I caught a pair of keys near my head maybe 1,000 times.
Like you were in a bit of a loop.
And that's right. And it's not all so self-focused either. The ride in, I watched the seasons change on the trees. Or the gangrel, the member of the court. I saw him wearing different clothes, looking different.
Different how?
I imagine as he used to be less how do I say this?
Bestial.
Exactly.
I'd be curious to know how accurate that is.
So I would be as well, or if it's just my imagination.
The Malkavian predilection towards being connected to more than just what we normally can perceive can yield a few truths, but it can also be deceptive.
Cora twitches her finger a bit. and looks down. There was a moment, something that helped us decide it was time for me to move on from Frankfurt. There was this woman in a bar. She was so much like me. To an eerie degree. But, you know, I was hungry and took a drink. And I started to feel like I wasn't sure where I began and she ended, and not in a positive way. I went for a drive. I found myself at a university. Like each of my steps was something I'd done before. Like I was going to go to class. I'd never been to class in Frankfurt.
So it's... Doesn't seem so far debilitating as much as consuming when it happens.
It can be. I suppose the thing that's on my mind most of the time is that I'll run a red light thinking it's green.
I suppose there are worse complications.
Could be so.
Something to keep an eye on anyways, but I see no reason for any of us to be alarmed yet. Have you tried to direct it in any way? Have you been able to?
Not so far. It's interesting. There are some moments, right, like when I was back in Germany, everything it all moved around the order of events, but it wasn't bad, right? Because it was safe. I suppose I have tried to focus and look at something that I was seeing again on purpose. And get additional detail. It did seem to work. I don't know if I want to encourage that, though, right? Making something repeat.
You're a driver, yes? That was your vocation?
Yes, but it was a lot more than that. The company I worked for, we were known for luxury vehicles, of course, but we had brilliant mechanical engineers, designers, so, you know, industrial parts, all sorts of things. I built dossiers on potential clients, did a lot of shaking hands, those sorts of things. And there was a rhythm to it, though. There was always a test drive involved. Even if it wasn't they were buying a car, you know. Sometimes just being up close to that kind of detail or having that thrill could make the difference.
There are a great many background details of how a car is made. All the initial sketch artist, the initial engineering, the testing, refinement, marketing, sales, and then at some point in the process, test drivers and the driver that in your case is trying to sell the car. You are potentially at 2 different stages. Interesting given your slightly extemporaneous view of things. But when things go wrong in the car, I believe the correct course of action is you have to steer into the skid, or you will lose all control.
Most of the time, that tends to work.
Then think of it like that. You are learning to steer into the skid, so it does not steer you.
You know, that's... I hadn't thought of it that way. That's very interesting.
Occasionally I'll babble something in the direction of competence, so let's hope that actually works.
I'll certainly give it a try. Besides that first night, there's not been much that's prompting me around here, so maybe the move was the right thing.
Well, the only thing to do is to wait to see as it happens again. See what complication it gives you. And perhaps try to hold on to that feeling and seeing if you can manipulate it in some way.
You know, I was a little worried that the conversation tonight might bring it on.
Potentially. But that just means you're getting to the next part of your therapy.
Right. Have to approach these things.
And if you can find the things that trigger it, you can perhaps better learn to navigate that. Even engage in immersion therapy to mitigate at least the worst of it. You're going to have to experience it one way or another, perhaps, but you may be able to steer when it happens at a more convenient time.
This is a good tactic, I think. It's, understand what I'm working with.
But the fact that you were expecting it shows that you're at least being cognizant of what could cause you issues.
Because of that one incident, I think I'm afraid to touch talking about my old life too much.
Then, how about I leave you at see what happens, and we'll talk about it the next time.
Yes, I think that's some good homework for me.
I don't require journaling, but it might be good for you.
Sure. Hopefully I won't come back with 3 pages of the same notes.
Well, that could be instructive in its own way. But thank you for making the time.
And thank you. I think I'm coming away with something useful, so
Good.
it is appreciated.
Well, I do have other appointments to keep, so if there's nothing else.
I think that's it. With any luck, Grace will be able to set me up with someone that's not the cottage. I need to get out of there, after all.
Ah, yes. Let me think on that. I might have an angle or two as well.
Oh, good. Good, I'll take it.
I make no promises. I have to check in with a few other things first before I can say one way or the other.
Of course.
But text or call me if you run into a situation, or if your derangement rears itself. We can set up a time to talk.
Yes, I'd rather be making the call to you than to Cleaner.
Well, depending on the situation, it might not be the worst thing in the world to call him first. But depending on what it is, it might be better to call me or Grace or Matilda. Or depending on the situation, Sheriff Vega.
You mentioned calling Matilda. How exactly does that work for us? I'm used to, you'd go to the deputy director rather than straight to the director.
Bit of a judgment call. Usually it's a case of what is the relationship you've built there.
Well, I have none right now, so I guess I'll use the chain.
Not a bad idea, but at least reaching out through text is something that they engage with in their own time, rather than infringing on their schedule by calling them.
I'll keep it in mind.
You have a lot of navigating to do. I don't envy your youth in this particular situation, but I think you'll do well.
I appreciate your confidence. Hopefully I can get ahead of things and we won't have any problems.
Well, I certainly won't. And I'll give you a little wink. Good evening.
She'll stand. Have a
Shows
great
the
evening,
shake his
and-
hand, or
Yeah, absolutely.
okay. It's not curt, but it's not overly familiar either. It's a happy little medium. And he sees himself out unless there's anything you wish to add there.
No, I think that went well.
Okay. We're going to check back in with our heist individuals. Now, you have to go for a little bit of a drive. But really, at this time of night, you can be pretty much anywhere in the county in 20 to 30 minutes. You wind up near, I have to look at the name of this really quick. There's a coroner's office near Hunter Army Airfield. I would say Ellie might have known about this place, but the proximity to the airfield probably gave you a little bit of pause. But Fitz, on the other hand, he seems entirely comfortable with the prospect. It's up to you to decide if that's because he knows what he's doing or he's a little rash. But he pulls behind a building, but not the building of your destination. into an alleyway that looks like it's under-traveled, underutilized. Now, hey, come here, come here, come here. He's calling over the raccoon, who just ambles up onto the hood of the car. And he just gives a little nod. Raccoon looks at the other two, just... and it skitters away. All right, kids. He reaches down and very smoothly lifts up a manhole cover. Now, I don't know if you know this, but morgues, coroner's offices, they might have cameras that go everywhere around the place, but it's not about that. They got these big old drainage basins in the main rooms for all the obvious ichor and viscera, so they can hose things down, but they don't often realize how big of a gap are underneath these things. All sewage gotta go somewhere. And both of you look like you're completely fine mucking around. But, still cameras. This is the act of getting into a place, working with what you got, remembering what you don't have. Shall we?
We shall. Tabby will head down that manhole.
Ellie will follow suit, while also just checking that their phone have their phone flashlight on, just to be able to see inside.
You see when he gets down there, he's taking out a proper flashlight.
Yeah.
The kind that takes the giant, was it D cells?
Mm-hmm.
The kind that could be used in a pinch as a billy club. So he's leading you through, and it is exactly as mucky as you are expecting it to be. It's cramped. You are having to hunch down. And he's moving deliberately, but he's taking little moments to orient himself. But it doesn't ever seem like he's getting lost. It's more a case of like, right, it's over there, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. He's crossing particular ways. And you're not going as straight towards it as you would think. And that's largely because sewer systems don't necessarily just work like streets. They tend to go off in angles you weren't expecting. They align differently to what is above than you were expecting. You're having to go a little further away and in the non-compass point that you were expecting to make a circuitous route back to where you're supposed to be. Because even the lines that would go directly there are just a tiny little copper pipe about that wide. So you're looking for more correct access points. However, that's not your first stop. You are in the vicinity of the building, and a great amount of electronics and infrastructure are located underground. He points you towards a industrial circuit breaker. The kind that is used by the city not by the occupants of a building. And it is already unlocked to the point where it was probably broken off and no one has ever deigned to fix it. You see that there is a bit of a rust pattern, so this is not a recent occurrence. This is just the way it's been for a good long while. So, he's looking over at Ellie. Impress me.
Ellie's gonna open the breaker box, and I mean, if it's old enough, I guess we're gonna see if Ellie can interpret what breakers go where.
There is also some circuit board stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it is like an Ethernet connection running, like an industrial internet backbone kind of running through this.
Mm-hmm.
And there are ways to make use of that.
Yeah, could just disrupt the circuit. I suppose would go take some pliers, the type of pliers you would use for adjusting things with your own kit, so it's something that Ellie would have on hand. And maybe just do an experimental, like, interrupting the kind of holding down one of the wires to just interrupt the circuit.
Okay. Now, what is the aim here specifically? Like, which circuit are you trying to interrupt? The internet, a power line, a...
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that there was internet involved.
You could do a lot of things. Like, what would you like to do?
I mean, if there is like,
or if you want to go about
internet,
this an entirely different way, we can readjust.
Yeah. No, I could. If there's like a connection involved, then I would definitely probably have some sort of kit I put together that I can just redirect. So I have, I'm basically putting a device I have as kind of a go-between, so that any internet stuff has to go through me directly.
You are becoming the man in the middle attack.
Yeah. And with that, Ellie will take like one of their smaller devices and see what they're able to connect to in the network.
So having physical access helps a lot of things. It really makes a lot of it quite easy. However, just because you have access to, say, the intranet of a system doesn't mean you have access to everything. So you are going to have to start doing some actual hacking to gain permissions to do the things that you want to do from here. So you're going to roll me are you feeling hurried or are you feeling methodical? Like you have time?
I'm definitely feeling methodical in this case. I don't want to rush this and screw this up in front of Fitz.
So you are feeling unhurried, but you want to do a good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with intelligence and computer. We're going to bypass the tech roll because easier this way.
Okay. All right. And what am I going for?
So you're bypassing a little bit of the initial security because you're basically tapped in.
Yeah.
So, but it's still a system that like you don't have access to. You're still maneuvering your way through it. You're having to create credentials probably in some way. So we're gonna go just with a 7. Do you want to use a willpower? Are you feeling confident that you don't need it?
It's a 7. I'm rolling 8 dice. I only have like 5 willpower left. I think I can do this.
Okay. Now have you marked off your willpower before for any reason?
I've marked it off one time to read Kate during one of the our interactions.
And you were marking that off as temporary willpower, not your permanent, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's one of the little boxes underneath?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes. Yes, I have 6 willpower total. I use 1 temporary willpower.
Okay. Well, actually, that's a bit of a point of order. Normally, I remember to do this, but you can regain willpower at the start of every night. Do you feel as though your prior work before tonight made you feel accomplished? Did you feel like you achieved a goal of some kind that is in keeping with who you are as a character? Or do
I
you feel
felt like
you're
I
spinning
made
your wheels?
progress.
Okay.
I felt like I made progress, but not necessarily that I accomplished it.
Okay. So for now, I think we'll say that you didn't get one back, but I think if all goes well tonight, you will be able to gain one back. If.
Okay, here
You
we
are
go.
showing off your skill set,
Uh,
I hope.
that is 5 successes, no ones.
Iskra looked like you were wanting to say something.
No, just nicely done.
Well, because it looked like you were doing this at one point. So I didn't know if we were back on Tuesday.
That was not our
Oh, I see.
Tuesday. It was
Holding
fingers
out hope.
crossed that this works. Yeah.
Whew.
Just checking. Nicely done. So, with that amount of successes on that difficulty, you tell me what you want to do. You basically have access to everything. What would you like to do with it?
Yeah, I think I start out with checking if any of the cameras are connected to the internet, like they're controlled by like
Absolutely.
that. So I check that, and I just casually put them on a loop. So I just put them on a loop so that they're just gonna be showing the same thing for, like, let's say 2 hours. They're just gonna show the same thing on loop. And then for bonuses, I just pull up the records of all of the deceased that I assume there's a camera in the examination room itself. I take a moment to watch the coroner, and I take a moment to educate everyone on everything that coroner was doing wrong in terms of examining the body and proper preservation of a body afterwards.
Now we'll get to the actual into the room in a moment, but Tabby, how do you feel about this whole display? This actually dual display of a skill set.
Thank God. My Tabby's immediate or previous thought is like, one way or another, we're gonna try to not bail from this mission, but because we've already accrued favor. But if Ellie had failed, it would have been pull it from the wall, which could have worked, but absolutely would have not been as simple. Would have been a event. Simple.
So, actually, the funny thing is, a lot of these closed circuit security cameras are either broadcast on the internet to a remote site. So, are you interrupting that upload?
Yes, I think I'm interrupting that upload.
So you're making sure that if whatever reason something goes wrong, they're not even getting the 2-hour loop. They're getting nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. But if anyone is watching it live,
They're
seeing the loop.
They're just seeing nothing seems to be going wrong.
Hey, Ellie, I totally, at least as you're describing what you're doing, what if you like sent them earlier footage of nothing happening during the time when we're doing stuff? Like if you sent them a recording of an empty room where nothing's happening and it just continued the stream, but it's actually already recorded footage. Saw it in a movie, I think.
I'll take that under advisement.
Is that not a thing? Sorry.
It's what I've already done. But thank you for the advice.
You're welcome.
And it sort of just sidesteps out of frame onto the next part of this little heist. Whether or not you keep up with him is on you.
No, yeah.
Ellie keeps up and like just gives a like big toothy grin to Jub,
Who's not there.
darn it. Gives a big toothy grin to Fitz. Consolation prize.
Just like, all right. So, next part is we're going to be on you, kid. And looking over at Tabby. And he's leading you through more of these little tunnels. And I'm so glad how this sounds like a very cinematic Metroid soundtrack, and I love that.
Gonna need
Eventually.
to backtrack about 10 times because we'll get a new item on each
Well, one of you is going to roll up into a ball one way or another. So we get to the eventual undergrading in the main exam room, from which you saw through the camera when you plugged in. It's a place with actually quite large rows of 2, and there's 3 rows. So in total, 6 potential slabs and all the resultant drawers. It's a big space to work with. And you know there's all sorts of supplies and fridges in this room. However, you have to get into it first. You said you were a tough kid, right? You're quiet. You're very, very quiet.
Yeah, your mic's a little quiet.
Hello.
You sound very far away. Whoa.
What? Not good. Oh, what?
So
Oh.
did you mess with Tabby's internet when you rolled that well? Or?
I just
Sorry about that.
fully unplugged everything.
Do I still sound very far away?
It got better. It's like it had to
You've-
attenuate for a second. Keep
Yeah.
talking for a minute.
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go.
Yeah,
Still
it's getting better.
It's getting better.
Yes, definitely better.
Okay.
I'll just put the mic real close in case the distance had something to do with it.
Hmm.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
All good.
Yes, strong.
Okay. Well, tough kid. Why don't you push that grating up and see if you can see anything?
She will attempt shifting it out of the way.
Now, are you trying to push it all the way out of the way, or are you trying to just raise it a little bit first to just scan around?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Certainly trying to peek through and or out from under as it is lifted.
Okay. I'm not going to have you roll for lifting it, because I think that's a pretty trivial matter. Yeah, okay. So, what you are going to do, though, is... Ooh. Instead of Dex and Stealth, I'm going to have you roll Strength and Stealth, because you are now trying to control... One thing to just shoot the thing up, but you have to do so in a very controlled and very measured manner and sustain that as you are walking or scanning the room.
Strength and stealth. Do I add my potence to this?
Yes, you do.
Oh my goodness.
Now, because it's a slightly off-brand use of stealth, you're going to tell me how many dice you're having to work with first.
9.
9. Okay. Nice. Now, do you want to use willpower for this? Because this is going to be 7. Because this is very difficult. You do not know the room.
Willpower does what again? Mechanically? I know
You-
it spends the temporary.
You spend a temporary, you gain 1 guaranteed success that cannot be erased by a 1.
No.
Okay. Have fun.
We're aiming for 7s.
7 and above.
That is 3 successes.
No ones?
Technically 4, but a 1 cancels out a 10.
So you got 3?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So you are hopefully unnoticed as you lift this grating just enough as you try and get your eyes right up in line with it. As you peer through. Now you know from the security feed that there's at least one person. You do see them. Now, are you waiting for them to leave the room, or are you intending to just pop up?
Do they look like they are making rounds, or they are in kind of sitting there?
They look like they're making rounds. So they're at least on the move. Usually someone on the move is... They could be doing the whole room, or it could be a case of they're writing something down and leaving. You're not able to get a great sense of it from your angle. But...
If they're in the room, I have a feeling that even with... Is there anywhere to hide in this room other than the grate that I'm under?
So here's the problem. If you lift the grate, it's going to create a little bit of noise.
Right.
It's in the middle of the room.
Right.
It's a thing like
I will wait.
great big like shower room kind of thing where it all angles towards the drains. You're the drain. You would get a bit of that copper smell right now too.
I will wait. See if
Okay.
he heads out of the room.
How long do you wait?
While kind of silently, like, just motioning towards the other companions, of like pointing that there's someone there, and then I'm like, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. A good 5 minutes at least if he hasn't rotated out.
You don't strictly hear anything at first, but you notice the steps stop. And you hear the guy, what the fuck? And the steps quicken. Out the door.
Up. Immediately pushing up on the grate as soon as he's headed out the door.
Okay. So you're waiting for them to be out of the door first. Right?
If I hear him rushing, and he
Mhm.
seems to be rushing in a direction that is not the grate, then Tabby reasons that it is assuming that he is heading in
You
a different
hear a door
direction.
close.
Yeah,
Okay.
up and out.
Okay. Ellie, do you join them or?
Yes.
Fitz does not. He's not keeping you from going. He's just leaning back against the wall. Checking
My
his watch.
first thing is going to be, as someone who's done this before, I likely know the likely storage locations of formaldehyde, and so we'll look at the likely spots for that, all the while kind of also keeping an eye on the door. And I think I think I might activate sorry, I had it up. Unseen presence.
Okay. So keep in mind. Oh, tell me what is the intent here with unseen presence?
The intent is that if I can still be moving around, and if the person was to immediately come back in, they wouldn't see me right away. I would have a second to be like assessing the situation, but I in essence won't be like immediately surprised, and they won't just see me there.
Okay. Well, let's look at what that does exactly.
So, no roll is necessary to use power unless the character speaks, attacks, or otherwise draws attention to themselves. Though the character is cloaked from view, if he does something like smash through a window, yell out, or throw someone, they are visible after in the aftermath.
Now, you've already toyed with the camera, so nothing would show up.
Yeah.
However, you know that if you were caught on camera, the person watching it live wouldn't see anything. But if they were to see it later on, after the fact,
they would see very much what happened.
The very truth.
Yeah.
So, good plan all around. While you're... So your intent is you're going to be hidden and taking a few things? Taking the formaldehyde?
The most important thing is I'm getting the formaldehyde, because in this type of room, I would know where that is. Or the general, anyone who's worth their salt would store it in this particular area, so I'm looking around for that.
Now, we can presume that you brought a bag for this, or you were given a bag. Either way, you have something to put this in. So I'm going to let you do that. Tabby, what are you doing?
Tabby, seeing that Ellie is on the case for Fitz's formaldehyde, is going to make sure that the grate is open and unblocked to throw ourselves down if we needed to. But then after the fact, assuming that she wouldn't hear anyone creeping back in, so she's not being necessarily too alert for.
You can assume, or should assume, that whatever has brought them out of the room won't do it for very long.
Yeah.
So you are on a clock, and you do not know what the timer is.
Gotcha. She's gonna look for blood bags.
Okay. Now, it's not very common for blood bags to be in a coroner's office or a morgue. You don't need to do transfusions to someone who's already expired. However, there would be exfiltrated contents of an individual for them to infuse with some formaldehyde. So there is a... I'm trying to find a nice way of saying this. There's a less nice bag of all the bodily contents.
All the bodily contents.
So you have to remember something. After a body dies, it's not just blood that's running through the veins.
Yeah.
Systems have broken down. So you have cell death, muscle death, and all the proteins and stuff that gets released. So this is, in many ways, dead blood.
Yeah, Tabby's gonna look for something else later. This is
Yeah.
This is not a.
But it's something you have access to right now, and you got a good chunk of it. Because they are biohazard that they have to deal with. Yes, some of it gets flushed down into the sewers, but there's also other things. So,
Tabby,
do you steal some of that?
yes.
Okay. You have a second, third, fifth hand cooler bag that would have been brought for this. You get the impression that Fitz has either been here before or has been through this practice more than once in one way or another. But why does he have to dirty his hands? You wanted the stuff. He just has to show you where it is.
Yeah.
So, I assume both of you are trying to be as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Ellie, given that you know where this stuff would be stored, but you only have one set of hands, I'm assuming that you would be directing Tabby towards where this expired blood would be.
That's correct.
Okay. So, with both of your tasks underway, then you go into Unseen Presence, keeping an eye out, I'm assuming looking out the window and the door. Because most of these places are not just giant steel slabs. It's a case of, you don't want to spook someone working in a morgue. There's a case of windows are there for a multitude of reasons. So in this case, it's for you to look out without being seen. You are both gathering up your liquid currency, in this case. You don't hear footsteps as much, Ellie, as you just sort of see that wave of motion of someone very clearly coming back down the hall.
Ellie points at Tabby and points at the drain.
Cool. For literally no delay, whatever we've got holding Tabby ushers to you to go first.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll jump in after you and attempt to reset the grate.
Here's a thought.
Hmm.
Do these doors lock from the inside?
God, wouldn't that be weird? How would you lock it from the inside when the people that are there are dead? That would really mess with somebody. Now,
I mean,
here's the
you
thing.
wouldn't. Yeah.
This person just ran out of the room. Are you banking on the idea that they spaced and locked the door?
I was banking on the idea if we could lock it from the inside, that would delay because they would then have to run back to get the keys. to, or at the very least struggle with the door a little bit, buying us some time.
You would know that these sort of things probably just lock on their own, that they have to have a key on them at all, like a pass card or something like that. So either way, it's not just as easy as turning a knob and pushing in. They have to go through a small process. So you already have that delay built into it.
Okay. Then in that case, I am going to, as not the strong one in the group, I'm gonna dive in first so that Tabby can pull the thing in on her own.
Okay. Tabby, I'm gonna have you roll for doing this. And it's gonna be easier because it's a lot easier to bring it down rather than to sustain it in a controlled manner. So we're just gonna have it as a 6. It's still gonna be stealth, and we're gonna go back to strength as well.
You said a 6. Oh, curse you ones. Let me see. I definitely got it at least one more success then. I accidentally nudged one of my dice, so I either had 2 1s or 3 1s, but I did have 4 successes.
Okay. So we can bank on the 1 success is what you're...
We absolutely got 1 success.
Okay.
Apologies.
So I will say that you bring it down, but there is a noticeable clang. Fitz reaches up and he just grabs the grate. So it stills, kind of like when you drop a pot lid. You just don't just let it spin, you just still it. That's kind of what he's doing. But he very quickly pulls his hand back. And I'm assuming you skitter out. It's several more minutes navigating through. Do you bother to recover the fuse panel?
Oh yeah, that's definitely useful in the future.
At least potentially. So I'm assuming you don't lock it, but I assume you at least close it shut.
Yes.
Okay. Decouple anything you have plugged in already, and then off you go. So, eventually you make it back to the car. Manhole replaced. As you get up to the car, Jub Jub jumps back up onto the hood, holding a can, presumably stolen from a dumpster. He goes, Fitz reaches over. Good boy. Good distraction.
Shoot. What was the sign language for thank you?
Oh, thank you.
You're assuming the raccoon speaks ASL.
Probably doesn't, but very much at the raccoon.
You remember earlier when I said it does the Sopranos thing to you?
Oh, damn it.
You just
It's
told us
similar.
go fuck yourself. So.
No.
Everyone's like, oh.
Fish is like, the fuck did you just do to my raccoon?
No. Can you tell him I said
Get in the
thank
car.
you? Thank you, Jub Jub.
Yeah, why didn't you just say thank you?
I assume, I don't know if it understands what I'm saying.
It drops the can, it rolls off into the distance, and it's just going this.
I think you
At
understand it at least.
Everyone's in the car. Do you occupy the same seats, or what's the arrangement here?
Can I sit in the back this time?
Ellie, do you want to sit up front?
Sure, I'll sit up front.
This raccoon manages to somehow sit fat back. It's almost trying to cross its arms and just glaring at Tabby.
If you can understand me at all, I really don't. I didn't want your seat. I didn't want to make sign
It turns
at you.
away. It was fine glaring, and then he had to talk at it.
Thank you, Jab Jab.
So, I get, is there like a grading system or something like that on
Rating, really?
We
That's the
did-
word you want to go with?
that was totally intentional.
I wanted to make a joke. She says from the back.
Well, nobody got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You. Where's my stash? He's looking at Ellie.
Oh. You don't want this shit.
The hand shows the bag of formaldehyde, the storage bag of formaldehyde.
Oh, that's a secret ingredient we're going to be using for later.
You got bodies you need preserving?
Well, we're going to make some bodies.
Hmm.
Hey, but no one ever asked me about my business. Anyways. What did you learn?
Having an extra distraction is always helpful.
Good, that's one.
Don't linger.
Mm-hmm.
Escape
Nope.
paths.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What else? Come on.
Different levels of it. Different people with different expertise.
Good. If you're going to do a heist, you might as well diversify your portfolio. No, what else? What else you got? You're missing something.
Don't flip off a raccoon.
That should always be rule one. No. It is both so much easier and so much more difficult than you think it is. Think this shit through. Once you figure out why it's difficult, you can figure out how to make it easy. And between the two of you, you can get in a lot of places. And if you stick with me, I can show you which ones.
Oh.
I just might mean I take a finder's fee. Sometimes it's formaldehyde, sometimes it's a head. But don't ever ask me why. It's not your business.
Does that mean that we can ask you for that and you also can't know what it's for?
Nope. Has to do with business. Until you get your shit together and you don't need me, you gotta tell me why. Because I don't need either of you.
Ellie starts taking out their phone and just starts like looking at like online car dealerships.
Well, if there's one
Tabby
lesson he
was
can
thinking
teach you, it's self-reliance.
Uber.
Yeah, that'll work well.
Nos Uber.
Now, as he's
No.
driving back to your original parking space in a garage, can I fade up from you two for a moment? Now, our last scene for tonight. Poppy. You have been driving up to Wormslow. We haven't actually gone to the house, the stone cottage yet to get your belongings. But we're going to talk to Atherton as just a bit of etiquette. You pass by a longer-haired gentleman with glasses who just politely says hello in a very, very slight English accent, but he just sort of passes by you. He's not lingering, just being polite.
She'll follow suit.
Mm. And in short order, you are also met by Atherton.
Hi.
Well, hello. Pleasure to make your acquaintance again.
It's great to see you. I just wanted to stop by and say hello and thank you. Well, thank you for being so kind about the car thing and explaining to us what not to do. I do appreciate that. I'm sorry if I seemed a little shaken at the time, but thanks for that.
Well, shaken means that you were paying attention to the precariousness of your situation. And assuming
Yes.
you've learned something, I'd say nothing more to discuss on the matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just stopping by to say hello and thank you for that. I'm going to go pick up some items from the cottage. I'm going to be staying with Nico and Clarice in their beautiful, beautiful place.
Ah, good for you.
Yeah.
I presume you are finding other means to land on your feet as well?
Yes, Nico's employing me at his store.
Ah. Well, I hope it goes well for you. If there's any other ways that I can be of assistance, please don't hesitate.
I won't. Thank you so much.
I believe one of your other cohorts, Miss Violante, is upstairs.
Oh, I'd love to go say hi. I haven't seen her. Well, I guess it's just been a day, but I would love to go see her.
Well, I invite you to head on upstairs. I'm sure she's, I think, free now.
Great. Poppy will kind of say her goodbye and go up the stairs.
And, Cora, were you leaving the parlor or were you staying there for a moment to collect yourself?
I stood. I'm gonna kind of sit in the room for a minute. She doesn't really need to breathe anymore, but I think that habitual, like, wanting to take a moment to collect herself is gonna kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being as young as she is. But after a moment, she'll kind of arrange herself, make sure that everything is sitting properly, and move from the room.
Poppy will be, in the movie magic moment, maybe coming up to the room as you're leaving, and Poppy being all energy, and you having just had this very calm moment.
Right.
Be like, Cora! Hi!
Poppy, it's a pleasant surprise.
It's so good to see you. I just came by to say hi to Atherton and lightly thank and apologize again for the car thing. But he said you were up here, and I just wanted to come and say hi and see if you were doing anything out and about this evening. I am a little hungry, so I might go get some dinner soon.
I
but
ate
if you're
last
interested,
night, but I wouldn't mind going again.
Amazing. Well, I've recently been set up in this wonderful house with Nico and Clarice, and Clarice mentioned the SCAD area as an interesting part of town. I have yet to take a look at it, so I was kind of thinking I might wander around tonight, and it would be way more fun to have a friend go with
I'd
me,
love
but
to go
also no
with.
pressure.
Ah, it sounds wonderful. And I have to say, I was
Amazing.
going to ask about your new place. There's these digs you're set up with. It's pretty nice. What's the
It's
story there?
beautiful. I I mean it's this like historic mansion, and it's definitely one of those kind of protected sites, and it's gorgeous, and I don't know the rules yet really because I live there, but I live there at the mercy of Nico and Clarice. So I don't know if I'll be able to like bring you in and like show you around. I think you'd love it. It's very nice.
I would love to
Oh,
see
and
it.
Graham, I have a question for you. A
Mm-hmm.
while back, we talked about me potentially buying a gift for Cora.
Mm-hmm.
Could that have been part of my shopping montage?
If that's what you would like to do.
Great. Um, but I think this is something that she bought with her own money specifically, not Nico's card.
All $5 and a peanut with? Okay.
It was thrifted. um, but Poppy will be like, "Oh, I have something for you." It's like it's silly. It's silly, but it's just a thank you for letting me well, redesign your jumpsuit the other night at the racetrack. And she kind of digs in her purse and pulls out these black driving gloves and hands them or presents them to you. I saw these. I was thrifting. I it's not enough to really I don't know, replace a really great jumpsuit, but just as a thank you.
This is, she'll take them. Interestingly meaningful tonight, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I'll tell you something. I wasn't actually allowed to use these back
Really?
when I was doing my job, my work. No.
I would feel like they would want you to use them so you didn't get like oils on the leather or something.
Well, I usually wasn't working on the cars. It was
Oh.
just the driving. It was all about making sure that the client had all of the feeling of the sense of control. I'm supposed to fade into the vehicle. Me and it were the same thing.
Wow. That's kind of
this is it's nice. Thank you.
Of course. And thank you truly for the jumpsuit situation. I got to meet like a insta famous bodybuilder and take pictures with her because of that jumpsuit, I'm pretty sure.
It looks better on you than it did me anyway.
Ah, don't say that. Don't say that.
So scared, huh?
Yeah, I just the area. I haven't really looked at it yet, so it might be a dud, but maybe it won't be. If you're interested, we
Yeah,
could
I'd love to
frolic.
check it out. I am maybe expecting having to do something for the clan later, but
Yeah.
so we'll play it by ear.
Great, great. Just text me. I have to go to the cottage anyway and pick up the rest of my stuff, my duffel bag and all that.
Oh, of course. It's been pretty lonely there. Hopefully I'll be out of there soon.
Oh, you're still there?
That's right. That's actually what I'm going to be working on. I'm hopefully
Prioritize
expecting a
that.
call
Yeah.
to get myself situated. Atherton's
Great.
been very kind, but I know that that's limited.
Right, right. Well, I again, I don't think I can invite you to like stay with Nico and Claire. Like that would be wrong, but I could try to keep an eye and ear out if but you might want to go within your clan anyway.
If we don't get something sorted tonight, I'll reach out for sure. I would
Okay.
appreciate it if you come across something.
Yeah, yeah, I'll find something.
So, point of order
Hmm.
for uh, Cora, you don't have any pressing appointments right now. You're
Yeah, I mean,
hoping for a call back.
exactly. Which I hope that she intimated correctly.
Mhm.
That there's not something stopping her from going right this minute,
Mhm.
but there may be something that takes her away.
That takes her away.
during-
Got
yeah.
it.
So, if you want,
Understood.
you could go to the cottage together to get whatever you need to do, and then you could leave together. Either by taking your 2 cars or in one car, whichever you want to do.
That's fine by me. It might make sense for us to take both cars because we'll be heading to different places
Mhm.
later.
That makes sense.
And if you need to go to your appointment.
But at least for a jaunt back to the cottage, we could ride together.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, and I can show you my new car.
Ah, you have wheels. Let's see them.
Yeah.
Okay. As you get into the car, I'm assuming Poppy is driving this time?
Mhm.
Okay. You start heading down towards the cottage. You see a car nearby that wasn't there before. It's next to the greenhouse. And as presuming you get out of the car, you see a blonde woman stepping out from the greenhouse. The one you know as Olivia.
Or is,
And
I haven't met her yet.
As this look of recognition happens, though, is where we're going to end for tonight.
perfect.
Amazing. Oh, I'm obsessed
However,
with Olivia too.
Actually, I think I'm going to save final thoughts for next time because we're
Ooh,
mid-scene.
okay.
So, you can check us out on Discord and our socials for our upcoming games. Once again, we have D&D on Tuesday. We're back with Vampire on Wednesday. We have an intermittent Star Wars game. An upcoming
Fridays most of the time.
Fridays most of the time. We may have an upcoming D&D game in the new year. It's going to be running concurrently with our current one.
And we do have the Kids on Bikes special event over at our friends at Top Down Tabletop featuring our Ventru, who is not here, Dreamy. I believe that is happening
Is that Sunday
this
or?
weekend.
But either way, look on our Discord for all the events, all our socials, and you'll see it there. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. See you next time.